All right, I will call this meeting of the Simpson County Fiscal Court to order. Magistrate Scott Poston is going to open us with prayer, and then we'll have a pledge to the flag.
Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, for this day and the blessings that you've given us in life. Father, we just pray that you would continually be with the healthcare workers, robbers, first responders, the police, fire, all those folks. We just thank you so much for their willingness to serve this community. Father, we just pray that all that's said and done here today is pleasing to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's get into it, fellas. If you had an opportunity to review the minutes of our May 19th regular fiscal court meeting, we just need a motion and a second to approve those minutes.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Myron, second by Nate. All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? Secondly, if you had an opportunity to review the minutes from our May 22nd special called court meeting, we just need a motion and a second to approve those minutes.
So moved.
All right, got a motion by Nate and a second by Scott. All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, I think all of you have a copy sitting in front of you that looks like this. I think you've gotten it back during the budget discussions also, but we have to approve by motion the health insurance. And I'm not sure on all. I guess to be safe, we can do this, just authorize the judge to sign any documents that are necessary. But we just need a motion and a second to approve the employee health insurance benefits for fiscal year 2021.
So moved.
Got a motion by Myron, second by Marty. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. And the next one, I know for sure I have to sign but we need a motion and a second to approve the McGregor Employee Benefits Administrator's renewal. And there's no change in the cost or the operation of that whatsoever. But I know absolutely it requires my signature. So we need a motion and a second to approve that and authorize my signature on the document. Motion by Scott.
Second.
Second by Nate. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And then finally, and all of these numbers obviously were plugged into the budget that we had first reading on week before last now. But to review, if you approve the ARIVAC employees membership benefit, it did make a $10 jump from 55 to 65, but that number was plugged into the budget. I mean, so it's no change in what you looked at there. So there again, we would need a motion to approve that and authorize the judge to sign any documents that might be necessary.
So
Motion by Marty, second by Myron. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next is, if you had an opportunity to review the fiscal year 2021 asphalt bids, we had two bids, one from Dewey's Contracting and Dewey's Construction, and the other from Scotty's. Obviously, Dewey's was the lowest bid, so we would need a second.
So moved.
No, okay, the motion and second is to approve the bid for Dewey's, the low bid.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got a motion by Myron to accept the low bid.
I'll second.
Marty seconded. All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? I guess if I hear all of y'all say aye, I shouldn't even ask if any is opposed. My hearing's not always good, so. And then finally, we opened bids this past Friday again for crushed stone bids. We had three bidders, Dewey Construction, Hanson Aggregate, and the Rogers Group out of Cross Plains, Tennessee. Again, Dewey Construction was the low bid in that. And in talking with, and I should have said this before on the asphalt part too, but in talking with Bobby, he was good to accept the low bid. So we'd need a motion and a second to do such if the court's so inclined.
Second.
All right, got a motion by Scott to accept the low bid from Dewey's Construction, a second by Nate. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. Next on the agenda is to review and approve. Hopefully, if y'all had a chance to review this, if you had questions, maybe talk to the county treasurer. I think a lot of this is kind of trying to clean up some stuff at the end of the fiscal year and just lined out and taken care of. But we need a motion to approve those budget transfers.
So moved.
Had a motion by Nate, a second by Myron. Any discussion or questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next would be a cash transfer of $78,000 from the general fund to the jail. Obviously, this is payroll week, and obviously we do not receive the Class D money early in the month. And it's just a matter of not having the money there to cover it through the Class D.
Within 42,000.
See,
We don't have that. You all have that.
Right. Well, I guess.
Approved back in March, that we haven't had to use yet. So use that 30 and then you have to use.
That's my question. So, that 30 has been used since then, plus this, you need the 78 now?
Yes. We did 40 back in last month, 40,000 total last month. And we're gonna need 78 right now to get through payroll and to get better than that. But of course, the money from, that we received last month was about $50,000 shy of what we budgeted due to the decline.
Right.
So,
I understand now. It almost makes me want to question, why do we even need a budget? You know what I'm saying? If these numbers are constantly changing and we're not staying within the budget, it's, you know, and I know the judge can't help.
yeah, I mean, some of the factors on the numbers are just completely out of any human control.
Yeah, but
It's hard to us is that, our state population, we're at 186 today, state inmates.
Yeah.
And, it's just ripping our budget.
Of course, as you know, the justice system just now opened back up just yesterday. So by the time we get to the end of this month, we'll probably start seeing a little bit of difference in that.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope it's not.
Yeah, I think they probably put off incarcerating people about as long as they can put it off, so.
But here in the last,
first half of the fiscal year, we have to deal with the whole issue.
right,
Yeah.
and here in the last,
$30 to 40 some inmates, and all of a sudden it's 70 something for 2 or 3 months. And then the coronavirus deal hit and the state let inmates out and that number comes down, so.
We've let a bunch of counties out too.
Yeah.
It's,
But like I said,
let everybody-
as you can tell by looking at the clean cut counselor over here, the court is now in session.
court is going back to work.
Judge, he told the courthouse open back up to first, or gradually
Yeah.
start to do things.
Yeah, I understand it's not gonna be just boom and we're there, but it will
I
start.
might have a better idea,
Yeah.
if he's actually in there today.
Well, what's going on is they're having a distance, and so they've got
it's kind of like being in a restaurant, there are only so many people they're allowing in at a time, and then you have to wait outside till there's a spot for you, and then you cannot, at least for the time being, even though it's an open court, while this pandemic's going on, they are not letting anybody other than parties, lawyers, or any witnesses in seen. So, bringing kids, bringing spouses, girlfriends, boyfriends, parents, that's not happening, so we can try to keep our city space for people who actually have court business there. And so, it's going to be, we're very, very backlogged, and so we're going to be trying to catch up for a while. They're not, the Chief Justice has ordered that there will be no jury trial until after August 1st. So I've gone about half a year without jury trials. Y'all, so Sheriff is right. We're opening back up, and we will be handling cases, but it's going to be considerably different for a while. Everybody's wearing masks inside, so it's everybody has their sanitizer everywhere. So we're not allowing people to congregate in the Justice Center. We're having people outside, wait outside, and then when they're ready, we'll bring them in.
So anyway, that's where we're at, but, to cover payroll and some utilities, we're in need to make the transfer. So I just need a motion and a second to approve that cash transfer. Motion by Myron, second by Scott, all in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? Next is, gentlemen, if you had an opportunity to review the bills and claims, we just need a motion and a second to approve those. Nate? Second, Myron, questions?
None.
All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, moving on to reports, two things to talk about here this morning, and one of them will require some action. We're gonna make a transition over to, it's gonna sound kind of funny. I've learned a lot of new phrases, since the whole pandemic and social distancing and all of this has come, Zoom and all the other things you hear, but this is a new one on me too. It's gonna sound a little odd, but we're gonna move over here in the courthouse to the Jive phone system. It's a system that the Emergency Management Office has been using for some time. And what the Jive system will do is several things. One, update all of our phone system to a digital system that we'll be able to actually have voice on. Currently, we don't have the ability to call. It would transfer that call right to their mobile device as long as they have the Jive app on their phone. There's no cost for any of that. So if you needed to take the call, you could get it from your cellular device without having to divulge your cell number to everyone. But the best part is that it would save us about $500 a year of what we're currently paying for phone service. So the savings part is good. I would just need a motion in a second to authorize my signature on the contract, because to get all of the equipment free, meaning all the phone devices, you have to sign a 2-year contract.
You got my attention.
Yeah, you get the equipment free, plus you save, it's not a huge, it's not like we're just bankrolling tons of money, $500 a year. Nate's made a motion. Second.
But this is a 2-year contract.
It is a 2-year contract, but the OEM office has been using it for how long? A year, no issues or problems whatsoever.
Do they have a contract with them?
Yeah, and when we were the same contract, we were originally on 18 months. We already had equipment, so we didn't need free equipment.
this will give you ability down the road to link everything together.
If it works like it's worked for the OEM and it all works out good, we can take a look at every department and eventually link up every department, so if someone calls into the courthouse needing the road department, we can, instead of saying, you need to take this number and call this number, we can hit a button and transfer it, and if Bobby's not at the desk, they would have the ability to leave a voice message for him. And the same with any other office. You know, we talked about doing this with a phone system back that was gonna be pretty costly. This is some of the stuff that Adam has been kind of bringing to the table. The technology seems to be his forte, and this may not be the appropriate time to do this, but he just saved us a little over $400 and some just last week over a hard drive crash that he got the drive installed, done everything for $400 less than what it could have been done otherwise. So
I'm fine with this, but it says the equipment is free, but there's a $235 equip cost.
It was literally yesterday
that Adam was the details on.
at 2 o'clock that we got the equipment delivery.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, well, I mean,
Yeah, I'm sorry, I should have noted that all just happened. But yeah, it will be free.
That wasn't the last negotiation.
okay,
Yeah,
well, I was just looking at what.
Yeah.
Well, and I told Adam, instead of us having to go and redo the portal and everything on it, just make sure it's updated to the meeting today, you all.
Okay, so that will be my seeing this up here, it says the equipment cost. Is the monthly cost the same as what we're looking at too? Or is it?
the monthly costs are the same, and
Okay.
it averages out to be $40-some a month less than what we're currently paying.
Right.
We had a motion in a second. Pam, did you get any other question or discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Another item along those lines, how do you guys feel about the Microsoft OneDrive that we're downloading and everything on the portal?
I like it.
It works for me.
Everybody's okay with it? I mean, the reason we're asking, if it's working good and everything's good, you know, we're currently paying for the Dropbox that we're time, which here again, not huge amounts of money, but it saves $144 a year, and there's no need to have it if the OneDrive's working well. Honestly, I think the OneDrive is easier to navigate than the Dropbox myself.
Hopefully we don't have to change things, but
Yeah.
technology changes, unfortunately, we don't have to do all that, so,
But OneDrive is free.
yeah, we're starting.
Then you need a motion to drop that?
I don't know that we have to have a motion to drop it, but I mean, we can. I mean,
Whatever, if you need a motion, I'll make a motion if you don't.
I don't think so.
I don't think, I mean, we just cancel it.
It's negative one suggestion, if it's
Yeah.
$500, I
Yeah.
don't think so.
All right, so then, Sunday, I think most of you are aware, I sent you guys a text message, and I just want to say this to again, thank the public. There were a couple of young ladies that wanted to organize a peaceful rally, you know, supporting, equality and justice, and the rally was held Sunday. Several people was down here. Nate was down here. Everything went pretty well. I thought the rally was peaceful. Hopefully it was productive. I think it was. But I thank the people of Simpson County that came out, because unlike what you're seeing all around the country, we done it the right way, where it seems to be happening the wrong way in a lot of other places, and that's unfortunate. I thought it went well, and that was good. Then the city's bicentennial, most all of the stuff that they planned for 2020 is kind of it's mostly been done away with. Like they were planning to have a 4th of July parade, and they're not. But what they are gonna do, if anyone here or anyone listening is interested in doing this, they're going to have what they're gonna call parade drive. Or if you want to decorate a vehicle or decorate something in your yard or decorate your house, and you can contact City Hall. Wherever the locations are, and just see 4th of July displays, I guess. So if you're interested in decorating something or getting it, just contact City Hall and they'll fix everybody up with that. Two more real quick. I've reached out to Enterprise just to get a quote on the fleet maintenance program to kind of see how it would compare with doing that rather than, every year we're running sometimes on the back end they're not worth anything and you're still running several $1,000s through. So I've had conversations with the sales rep there, and I know the sheriff has, and I actually think she's maybe reached out to people in every department to talk about the fleet. But we're trying to exclude any of the department heads in this, but the sheriff and I are going to have a Zoom meeting this afternoon, actually at 3 o'clock, just to go over this and make sure we've got all the information. And once they get a proposal together, I'll bring it'd be a good opportunity to actually get on a fleet rotation program and probably save the county some money over the long haul, because you're turning around, the way they do this, you're turning around and you're getting nearly all the costs back out of your vehicle. They're turning some of the vehicles, I think, every year, aren't they, Sheriff? And it keeps the cost way down. And I know Warren County does this for their entire fleet for all the departments. And so I reached out to Warren County Judge and got some communication with their county treasurer and their public, and they all say it's working great and actually saving.
I've talked to some magistrates and judge in Warren County about this. They say it works good. Then I've talked to some other counties that said it was just cost prohibitive, because they didn't have enough.
Yeah.
Like when you go into Warren County and the bigger counties, they use so many more vehicles than the smaller counties use. And it was saving, but in a small county, it wasn't the savings one. But so until we get the numbers now, it's going to be hard to know.
Yeah, but I'm just letting y'all know, we're working on all that. Once we get the numbers, we'll take a look at it and see where we're at. Sheriff, was you getting up? Yes, sir. You can. Yes, sir.
We don't know what the program's gonna entail. I've looked at the initial stuff, but stop thinking small. Marty, what I've told y'all is exactly correct. We need about 23 vehicles. I'm not asking you for anything we can do with the two, but you can take the same money we're gonna do those two with and start replacing. Their whole, thought process is the same thing I've told y'all. You don't have the pockets to do it. Remember, I've got 2 vehicles in that fleet that we're going to try within the next year or two to sell while they're still somewhat new, because we think we can probably get about the same amount of money we pay for if you sell them quick. Remember, there were 2 in the last 3 years that I've bought that I've told y'all about. That's what their concept is. They've got professional sellers, and they know they can flip a pickup truck and make about what you pay for it within a year or 2 years of doing it. They've got the financing to be able to do a large number of vehicles at once. So when I say think large, it's not going to change that we need, 23 vehicles is a lot of vehicles. That's what we currently operate with at the sheriff. We've got 21, but we need 23 to function correctly. So, yes, some of the departments are small. Emergency management, maybe they only need a truck. So that is a small fleet. When you get talking about managing 23 vehicles, that's a lot of vehicles. There's a lot of cost. Think about the amount of gas that we're spending, the amount of maintenance that we're spending,
And then, you know, we looked at $80,000 to purchase 2 new vehicles and equipment for next year for 2 vehicles. Well, you've also got about $30,000 in maintenance in that budget. You've also got about $30,000 in fuel in that budget. So all of that works together for, I'm not saying, but from their initial figures of what I looked at, you can do a lot better and save money over the long run. So that's not a criticism. I'm just saying, you're talking, we're starting to have large fleets. With the sheriff's office, 23 vehicles, you're starting to have a large fleet there. So anyway.
Yeah, and so we'll get it, we should have it to look at it. I mean, it's not gonna change where we're at budget-wise, but obviously the sheriff's not gonna order those vehicles until this next fiscal year budget is completely approved. If we get these numbers from Enterprise, they could get the 2 vehicles. Honestly, Mike could get them quicker than what we could get them, order them, and probably save. We'll just have to look at it and see. I just want y'all to be aware we're getting those numbers. Then finally, as of yesterday afternoon, here in Simpson County, we have a confirmed count of 52 cases. Unfortunately, 3 of those 52 have passed away, but the good news is 37 of those 52 have recovered. So that means as of yesterday afternoon, there were only 12 active cases in Simpson County. Now, I'm not giving or asking, and I'll try to find out today. I've asked for this information, haven't been able to get it. I have no idea how many people have been tested. I do not know the total number that's been tested. I've tried to get that number, haven't gotten it. And I don't know of the 12 currently active cases, I can't tell you how many or if any of them are hospitalized now or whether they're just in home isolation. I don't know that number either. I just know based on confirmed count, recovery numbers, and then the death numbers, that there's only 12 active cases. I think we were talking some before we come in, and I think we're at the place that I think the shutdowns and the closures have done what they were intended to do, and that was stretch the cases over a longer period of time so you don't just get them all at one time and you're filling up the hospitals. Of course, obviously, we have no control over this locally. This is all by, at the state, and this is what I'm wanting the people that are listening to hear. All of the restriction numbers on how many are coming into the restaurants. You heard the counselor talk about the restricted numbers on people coming into the Justice Center. All of those limitations and restricted numbers are all currently set by the state. We have no control or say on what those numbers are. But I think that we've done exactly what needed to be done, and honestly, my opinion is it's time to get back at it.
Well, that's my opinion. I mean, and I support what happened up here Sunday with the protest. I was working, I couldn't be here. But if that's allowed, then there's no reason why they can't have the concerts on the square.
Yeah, and
there's no reason why they couldn't have.
And to your point on that, I want to clarify that up, because this has been a concern of some members of the public, and just so that you guys. One of those young ladies contacted me through social media message and asked what they needed to do to hold a peace that kind of thing. We don't. I mean, we don't issue permits. People, the First Amendment of the Constitution gives everyone the right to stand on that sidewalk out there and hold the sign and say whatever they would like to say. And so that's what I mean. That was my answer to her. So there were a lot of people that thought that I approved the gathering. Now, here's the thing. There's going to be a difference here. Did I approve of the gathering? Absolutely, I approved of it. Did I approve it to happen? No, because I didn't have to.
Exactly, but what I'm saying is, if a group of people can assemble, they have the right to assemble.
Yeah.
And if people can assemble on the square, Sunday, there's a reason why they can't assemble from now on, in my opinion, but
I
that's
just,
just my
I
opinion.
think it's time to get back to it, and I think it's, but at the same time, and folks that are listening, it's also just use a little wisdom and common sense. If there's things that you're uncomfortable doing, just don't do those things. So, but anyway, that's the report. Just a quick update. Total for the 8 counties in the district is a total confirmed count of 1,600. 873 of those have recovered, so well over 50% of the confirmed cases have recovered. Unfortunately, there's been 39 deaths in the district, but you have to bear in mind that a lot of these cases have 3 long-term care facilities, and that unfortunately that this virus just takes its toll on folks with underlying health issues. But that's where we're at there. And so I'll wrap that up. Marty, you have anything?
Yeah, you and I both were tagged in a video on Facebook by
Oh,
a
yeah,
lady.
yeah.
The issue at Saddle Ford is getting worse.
And I've made a couple of calls, but I don't have anything worked out on it yet.
She was talking about her son had to back up the hill because he couldn't get across the bridge. There is going to have to be something done, and I know there's something that didn't need to happen, but until those vehicles that are blocking the roads and we cannot get through there, until they're removed, it's not going to change. You can I mean, there needs to be citations written and there needs to be people moved, because if the fire department had to go down there, and they've had to go, of course they went across Cedar Bluff Road down here to do a water rescue. If they had to get down there to do one at that bridge, they could not get down there. Or if the ambulance had to get down there, they could not.
Let me ask you a question, because I did forget something, but it kind of ties into what you're talking about, and Sheriff and I talked about this. I had another call, Myron, about, Coomer Road and what's going on out there. I think we could do this for both instances, and I talked to the sheriff about this. Is just simply at each end of Coomer Road, just simply posting a sign that says, no parking in roadway, private property. We could do some of the same at the low water crossing, just have a sign that says, no in roadways.
And that's fine, but when that sign's up, some people, there's gonna have to be some things done so people know that we're not just gonna put a sign up and then,
You'll have to be enforced is what he's trying to do.
Exactly. I mean, so, I've got calls, cause I got friends that live out on Coomer Road and farm out there, and I've got several calls on that, and that's one of the things they're really scared of is, we're fixing to get into harvest, there's semis out there, and there's almost been a couple of children hit.
It was this past Friday, a lady called me and she was in tears. Did nothing happen in that school. But she talked over this little hill and there was a lady sitting right there in the middle of the Coomer Road painting. And she took the ditch. Thank goodness, did nothing happen. But, and talking to the farmers out there last week, they're worried about liability. Of course, they're going to start harvesting semis running down the road. They're afraid that they're going to top over a little hill there. And of course, Jerry D and I talked about that. I mean, that very well could happen. But, as far as the signage goes, we're on Coomer Road, there's so many ways to get into Coomer Road. One is on the west and one at the east end. Definitely not going to work because there's too many ways to get in. But what I have noticed is the bulk of the people has been from Sumner County, Robeson County, Davidson County. I very seldom ever see any vehicles out there. They may be, but the Simpson County people, but social media will work as well as far as getting it out that way. But,
well, a lot of people are.
But they are migrating on Andrews Road, the Bone Road, Springfield Road, State Highway, since we don't have any jurisdiction there, but, they are migrating. There's been a few barns here that I noticed now that they painted some things on some barns out there. So, but the neighbors are, and I talked with Jerry D yesterday, and I passed on a number that they can actually call, and it would be something that if they're concerned, they can call this number, It's not 911, but it's the 586-8824.
8824. That's the dispatch number for everybody in Simpson County. If you have a police issue, you call that number, that's our dispatch, they hit a button and the officer that's working is en route for that call.
All right.
Same thing when the traffic's impeded out there on the bridge. If they call and they do, we immediately respond and take care of whatever.
So the people listening now, the people that watch this video may not hear you, so I'll say it here, but you said that dispatch number is 270-586-8824?
8824.
8824.
586-8824.
Okay.
Don't call the sheriff's office, because this is what happens. It's not laziness. Don't call your sheriff, and that's not laziness. If you have something you want to talk to me about, come see me, or you can call me about that. But if you have a call, even as a magistrate, somebody runs you off the road, and it's not an emergency, call that number, and the officers that are working will respond to whatever it is. It's faster that way. Everything has to be documented through our dispatch. We're required to keep numbers on everything. You want to know how many dog calls we went on last year? I can tell you, because it's all gone through dispatch. So when you call the sheriff's office for something of police service, we're going to transfer you to post anyway, because they're the ones that have to take the information so they can do what's called a CAD. If you call me, you're slowing up the process. Yeah, I'm in charge of my deputies, but you're telling me now I've got to get on the phone to call them, and it still has to go to post to be CAD'd. So by calling the dispatch number, which is the reason you got dispatch, they hit a button. Yeah, some people will go, well, they're way up the Bowling. Doesn't matter. It's all by radio. So you're calling, they get your information, they hit a button, and 110, Matt Freeman, if he's working, he's en route right then. So later concerns, you can come talk to me, but if you're looking for quickness, it can be little things, suspicious person, vehicle blocking the road. Those are non-emergencies, but we still respond to those calls. That's what we're here to do.
And Sheriff, to clarify too, that is different than if you have a true emergency, you dial 911.
Husband's falling on the floor having a heart attack, 911.
Yeah.
You ain't even got to think, yeah.
The dispatch number is for non-emergent situations.
Serious wreck, 911. You backed into a pole, 586-8824. You're not in a rush. Nobody's life's in danger, but you need it. So that's good for the public to hear. So thanks for letting me get up.
Thank you, Sheriff.
But on this issue about the bridge, I would like for Bobby to talk to them at the park and find out if we can fix another lot there. And we've got one on Barnesville Road now. If we could fix one on Kenneth Other Drive.
Well, I got a message last weekend or weekend before last that Barnesville Road was lined up and there were hardly any vehicles in the parking area up there.
That's where they need to be citations issued or vehicles removed for blocking the road. We've provided a parking lot.
Yeah.
Make sure they're in it. But we could provide another area there. And I know there's been,
So I have no problem if the court does, and I have no problem with the Coomer Road area and the low water crossing area to post a sign, that says, no parking in roadway and, no blocking the roadway or however it needs to be worded. And I have no doubt that the sheriff's office will take care of what they need to take care of, to do it. I wish there was a really good solution for it, because most of the people at the low water crossing is just trying to have some fun for the day.
well, I know there's, I can't think of the name of it. I think it's whatever floats your boat or whatever on Facebook, but there are some individuals that have sought out the opportunity and they're advertising for people to park on their property. If they take them down there, drop them off, and then come back and pick them up later on.
That's a heck of a good business idea if a person wanted to do that on the weekend.
Yeah. Well, I know one for sure that's doing it.
One we do it on Coomer Road, but.
Yeah.
No,
I don't think they can drop them off right.
Are we talking about getting on the creek, Mike?
But
Part of the road crossing in Myron Hill is just the increase of traffic. A lot of that is people from other counties where word over the years has gotten out and they're coming over here.
right.
And that
a little bit different than local people are doing. I'm not saying it's okay for him. We're going out, he works 5 to 10 times a day with extra patrol. I encourage the people that live out there to call when they see it, and that we'll go right in and we can address the issue on whoever it is. And every issue is an issue of its own, not all the same. Same with the kind. They call, we're already doing extra patrol. Don't have any problem with watching people that are obviously, abusing it. But then you're gonna have to go up the bar because people ain't there to abuse it.
Exactly.
Call it when we need to, we'll talk. I don't have any problem with doing any of that, but the bigger problem is, as the county, what you guys have done out there, outside of just saying writing tickets, it may or may not stop what goes on.
Mm-hmm. Well, if we do the signs, I'd like signs at on Sutter Ford Road, or Sutter Ford, signs on Barnstable Road, and signs on Kennebuck Drive.
So, I mean, that's the question, on all the locations, the 3 low water crossings that Marty talked about, and the Coomer Road area, do we want to authorize signs to be posted there based on language that the sheriff and the road department thinks would be adequate for that? And we'll just let the sheriff and Bobby talk about how these signs need to be worded and what he could actually enforce.
But to bring something else, Steve Snyder and I were talking the other day, and he was trying to come out of one of his fields. He's kind of got like a little gravel lane that goes way back. Well, he was coming out of his field with this big tractor disc, and there was a lady parked right there where his gravel lane's at. So he got out of the tractor and asked the lady to move, and she told him that she wouldn't, after she was done painting. So he just sat there.
I guess he could have dished her car under.
Well,
Then he would have been in more trouble.
True.
so,
But
you know.
the road he's talking about has
Is
posted
this
no
gonna stop
trespassing.
it? This is not gonna stop it, but,
But if we give
Let's
them,
put people on notice, and the signs will do that, and then that way you can say with a straight face, roads were posted, you knew not to do this, start writing tickets, if they don't move, start towing folks. I've said this before in previous meetings. I mean, do we try to do that as the first option? No, but eventually, as someone just mentioned here, you're gonna start setting examples, and then sign them to court. We're open for business again, so I mean, they can sit there and wait half a day, their turn, get their seat in court, and maybe they figure, gee whiz, it's not really worth the aggravation. So, Sheriff Hobson knows his job and knows his deputies, and so, we say go, but I'm just saying, you're doing this, you need to make sure you enforce it. I'm all in favor of everything you're saying is right, but we need to enforce it, and then, let the deputies do what they do best.
Signs would be helpful on our end, even on the enforcement end, give somebody a heads up. Once they're in the right of way, it's not on the road, Bobby and I can figure out what right of way they can be in or not be in. Because technically, you pull off in the right of way, there's nothing you can do about it.
right.
And sometimes people don't realize what they think may be their land is actually private.
Yeah.
But
But I
they're
have-
on the road, they're
I'm not saying that was happening here.
Right.
But I'm just saying there's
I
times.
have talked to farmers, of course, if we go with the signage, obviously, a lot of farmers out our way, they'll mow the roadways themselves. And that's gonna be a signpost, everybody, even if the signage had to be put on their property, everybody's good with that, so. Just spoke with all of them.
So we got three low water crosses in the Coomer Road area, so we're probably talking about a total of roughly 8 signs. Cause you're gonna post both, no, you're not gonna post 4, so we're talking about 10 signs. Both sides of all 3 low water crossings, and then you say 4 probably in the Coomer Road area. So we're talking about at least 10 signs.
But what I would, and I like to say it publicly, I did have a call today, and they wanted me to thank the sheriff's department, because on the west side of Coomer Road, it's almost come to a halt. course, there's no canvas out there. I mean, there's no place to paint, but by you guys having presence out there, it's working to a degree. And I'd like to thank you for that.
So if y'all are good with signs, we just need a motion and a second to authorize approximately 10 signs to be placed in these 4 areas we discussed.
Second.
Motion by Marty, second by Myron. Is there any other discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Barn School, Sadler Ford, and Kenneth Utley Drive, low water crossings, and then the Coomer Road area.
That was a good point. The money for the signage, is it coming out of road fund or is it gonna come out of our general fund?
Well, absolutely, it's about road fund, that's probably.
And I also noticed, and I want to take this opportunity to make a plea to anybody that may be listening this morning or watch this video later. The stop sign at the end of, Andrews Road has got blue paint swirled all around it now.
Yeah.
So I noticed that yesterday. I just want to make a plea to the people in this community, or anyone that may be listening. As Myron said, it could be people that don't even live in Simpson County doing all of this. Hopefully, I'm hopeful that it is people that don't live in Simpson County doing this. But these signs, when we have to replace all these signs, Bobby, am I right? That comes out of the taxpayer's pocket.
Yeah, I remember 2 weeks ago, we discussed it, I gave you prices.
Yeah.
We spent $13,000 this year on signage, and probably $9,000 of that is due to vandalism.
So what y'all may not have been hearing there, the road department supervisor said he spent roughly $13,000 on signs this year, and approximately $9,000 of that's due to vandalism. That would be $9,000 that we could use to do something else that's more meaningful to the community than replacing signs that people think it's funny to vandalize or steal. So I'm gonna make a plea to you. If you live in Simpson County, please don't do that kind of activity. And if you see someone doing it, call that 586-8824 number and turn them in.
And I was just making a joke when I said it's out of the road department, but
Yeah.
Bobby, if you'll get the price of the signs, I'll make a motion that we put that into your line item.
We'll just make a
Won't be that
transfer to
much
the
money,
general fund
but
and
I'll be
cut-
glad to do that.
The reason I asked, because I just ordered signs this week, and we had to transfer money, because that line item is so low.
Do you want to amend your motion to say that we will transfer the money out of the general fund to cover those costs? You good with that amendment? Okay. Well,
I can lose money.
okay.
We'll do a budget transfer.
Yeah,
Whatever we need to do. You're not talking about a lot of money for them 10 signs, but those 10 along with all the other signs.
Already $9,000 of vandalized signs, vandalized and or stolen.
So we don't need an amendment to do from general to road fund.
Not at this point.
Okay. It'll just be budget transfers that'll show up here that we'll vote on. All right, Nate, you said you had a couple of reports.
Yeah, I have a couple things. What's the Boys and Girl Club?
Do we vote on that?
Huh.
Do we vote on that?
We did vote.
I made the motion.
Marty made the motion, Myron seconded it. I thought I called for a vote. All in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we're good. Sorry about that.
That's right. Yeah, with the Boys and Girl Club, they're having a summer feeding program that started yesterday on June the 1st. And with club membership is not required. And it's gonna be held Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the parking lot. Meals include lunch, breakfast for the next day. And that's for any families that have youth that's in their household. And you don't have to be a member of the club either. And they're also having another program that's called Blue Bag with Kids. That started June 1st also. It's free to all youth that would like to join the staff members and friends in Zoom rooms and complete projects just like being at the club. The kits has all the supplies that you'll need. And thanks goes out to the Franklin Presbyterian Church because cause they had sponsored the first 2 weeks of this at home, and it's called, a club at home, Boy and Girl Club Blue Bag. And, so now after the first 2 weeks, I don't know whether that they got anybody else set up to sponsor this program, but they always need help in that sense. And the, Parks and Rec, the upper field has been pretty much completed now, because it has been run down over the years. Nobody has really been utilizing that field of ours, so now they got a new backstop fence, and the fence has been fixed 50 feet past the dugouts, and the dugouts now do have a top on it, and the fence behind the dugout has been replaced also. They have a building, where they replaced the old building that was behind the backstop, because it had been run down and not really used. So they replaced that building with a new building, because they looked at the repairs of the old one, it was gonna cost more than getting it replaced. So that's been done now. The opening of the parks, there's a list out there posted for different things that's opened up out at the park at different times. So if anyone wanted to see what's opened up out there at different dates, it was a sign that posted out there. The pavilion rentals is still put on hold for now, because all the picnic tables has been removed. So that's put on hold. If anybody just want to have an event out there this summer, it's still put on hold right now. They're not doing no rentals at any pavilion. And the youth summer sports out there, it also has been put on hold still. Because there's a Kentucky Health at Work website that has all the rules and guidelines, and it's pretty well strict. If you open up, that you must go by. So right now, we're holding off to see if those restrictions and guidelines are going to ease up some. And when they do, then that's when the sports will come back out there. Because there was a projected date that may be June the 29th. That's what's out there right now. But it's all going to be based on, if the guidelines and restrictions from the Kentucky Health at Work website, because they're the ones that's doing it. And if anybody was wanting to see what the guidelines is, just go to that website. So it's like a 10-page, brochure of a lot of stuff. And that's for any sports. That's baseball, soccer, basketball, that's everything across the board. And that's for the whole state, not just for Simpson County. And that's all I have.
Very good, thank you. Scott?
No, sir.
Fine. Counselor, one thing I would like you to address, and then any other thing you have, is where we're at on the, agreement with the XYZ.
I sent the proposed,
I just wanted-
proposed change. Basically, I've been talking with Mr. Leach, the industrial authority attorney, because they obviously have a dog in the fight, and quite honestly, he has much more experience with this sort of thing than I do, because customarily, this is done on the city's end, because most of the industrial stuff is inside the city limits. There have been some proposed changes made to the, lease agreement. One change I've already made, and there was another change that Mr. Leach and actually it was his suggestion, that I concurred with Judge Barnes. I set that off after having the judge and Mr. Leach say it's okay. I sent off to Mr. Heinrich, the attorney for XYZ, saying we'd like to have this also added to the proposed lease agreement. There's some talk about having a lien on the equipment, but it turns out the industrial authority will be owning the equipment, so that's not going to be an issue. Also, there was some talk about Department of Local Government, but really putting that in the lease, I think the simplest thing to do on that is saying, we're not going to sign anything the DOG signs off, agrees to the proposal. So I sent it off yesterday about 4 o'clock-ish, and then I I imagine I'll hear about it today or tomorrow.
And on the part of the equipment that actually will be under the industrial authority, there will be an agreement signed between the authority and the county that in the event of a default, any revenue that comes from the sale of that equipment will come to the county. But, I mean, that's a lot easier agreement to get than the one that Sam's working on right now.
And obviously we would just soon get some things done before they sign something, because Judge pointed out in our conversation yesterday, they'll have a lot less incentive to sign something or agree to anything once the lease is signed. And so, that's kind of where we are with that. If anyone has any other specific questions, they can call or talk to me.
Is that all you got?
Yes, sir.
All right. Sheriff, you have anything?
No reports.
Are there any other constitutional officers in the hallway that would like to speak?
Anybody have anything to address? James.
Bill, I see you over here in the hallway. You have anything? Bobby? Then I think that only leaves a motion to adjourn. I'm already in Nate. I don't know which one said it first. All in favor, aye? Aye.